The challenging market is that 5 to 600,000 range, maybe 4 to 600,000 range, where that's where that multiple offer. So you probably also at a price point where there's competition, but you're not going to have as much competition. So Matt, like you're obviously dealing with a lot of people out there. You're out there, right? You're in the trenches. You're talking to a lot of people, trying to make offers. Is that accurate? Is that accurate where the price point's at, where you're seeing these multiple offers happening?
I mean, I would say it depends on how good looking the home is. Like the good looking homes, it's still like really competitive. Some people that are like exiting and selling, they're like it's a bit overpriced, and there's spread in between what the seller's asking and what it's going for. But good looking homes go like in nanoseconds, and they always will in any market, but like especially so in this market.
But I mean, like you look at these price points, like if you're dealing with $1 million client, it's a little easier to get into an offer and get it accepted and probably not have to go too crazy, right?
I got a listing that it's 1.1 million. So like I've really been focusing on this one home that I want to put into contract. I'm the listing agent, and there was like 32 homes. So whenever I take a listing, I send the client what I call, this lady's name is Corrie. So I do a search called Corrie Competition. So then any buyer that comes here that wants, this house is a half acre, 1.1 million with a pool, nice house. Like, so I make a search of like quarter acre to half acre homes that are in that price bracket. And I've been surveying that part of the market very carefully for the past like 6 weeks. And in what I can tell you to answer your question is in what I'm doing now, like there's 32 homes on the market in the whole valley that are like $1 million to like 1.3 million with a pool, quarter acre to half acre, and like 1 or 2 go into contract each week, but a lot of them are sitting. And so like it depends on each price point, obviously, but what I'm saying is that, I don't really know what I'm saying, but if I'm honest, you know.
Yeah. But is that the same for you, Joey?
I don't know what I'm saying is, I don't know what the takeaway from that is.
I'll tell you what the takeaway is that I got from it is you have less
it's not Fast and Furious.
And $1 million price point is actually a normal thing now. You go back 5-7 years, that was like unreal. People would be like, "You're buying $1 million home, you must be rich, right?" I mean, that's what people would think. Like, I mean, you that would be like the upper tier of realtors out there that are really making offers and doing deals.
Not anymore.
Yeah. No, it's normal.
Yeah, our luxury market's starting at like 2 to 2.5 to 3 million.
Yeah,
right. Which a couple of years ago was starting.
That's crazy.
Was at $1 million and a half.
Yeah.
That's crazy. So you look at your situation. Let's talk to you a little bit. So you're out there and you're looking at new homes a lot, right? What's going on with the new home sector? Like, what do you see out there with $1 million homes, or just people that are on the list, on the waiting list?
You know, at the upper tier in Summerlin, we're seeing a lot more availability.
Okay.
Right. In that 500 to 600 base price, we're seeing a lot more people that are on that waiting list.
Competition,
right? So
right?
it's kind of weird though, right? It's kind of weird because we're not seeing a big influx of inventory hit the market, but with Pulte Homes up in Summerlin at Red Point, their new subdivision up there, typically you have to do an easy offer process, right? You have to go through, you have to offer based on whatever they release their lots at. If there's 50, 60, 70,000, how much more you will pay. You have to build a house on paper. You get pre-approved. You have to go through the process. I went up there and showed some houses or showed some, the model homes, and we saw their availability, and I was shocked. I was like, I understand that you had a release. What else do you have coming available? She's like, oh no,
we still got them.
We have like 6 or 7 home sites that are still available.
That's very telling.
Right? So it's kind of weird. And that's usually the first telltale if the market's softening a little bit. But then you jump into the resale market, and I'm submitting offers, and we're multiple offers.
Yeah.
So is the market simmering in the resale, or is it simmering in the new home?
I think what's happening on that upper tier is that the builders have gotten so greedy, and the
resale's a better value.
Yeah, they're asking so much more for what the value of the land is, or the land is actually valued at.
Yeah.
Because who's going to go in there and pay $200,000-$300,000 for dirt, and then pay a $900,000 for a base price, 25% in options?
Yeah.
It's getting crazy. So I think what's happening is people are starting to shift. They're pivoting. They're saying, hey, you know what? It's better opportunity here in the resale market, because what's happening too now, you had so many investors in this market, right, that were going in and renovating homes. And they were renovating homes in that $300,000 to $500,000 range.
Doing a good job.
Very good job. And now what's happening is that inventory is so thin. Now they're jumping into that luxury market.
Really?
Right.
Okay.
So now you're getting these homes that were built in 1999, 2000, 5, 6.
Yeah.
Renovating them, bringing them up, putting in the big, beautiful pivot doors, putting in like all the bells and whistles. And now that makes more sense to somebody than, hey,
Them building new and
them
paying for
building
that
new.
themselves.
Exactly. So
Yeah.
now they're insulating themselves from that inflation
Mm-hmm.
from the new home prices.
Yeah, you're seeing. So you're seeing the same thing a little bit, Matt? as
No,
far as-
what you said makes sense, Joe. I know like a couple flippers in town that
Uh-huh.
jumped from like doing $300,000 to $400,000 to $500,000 homes, and they're like, we're just going to do $1 million homes now because there's not the competition in the acquisition for the flipping, but they know that they're going to get the money out of it, and the flippers can put those pivot doors in, like they know what they put them in probably for the similar cost or less than the builders, but the builders are marking the heck out of them.
Yeah.
Like if you want a pivot door for a builder, like on a fancy house, like what do you think that runs at?
Yeah.
It must be
You're like
stupid.
15, 20 grand
Yeah.
off the pivot door. So I
Retail.
did a property tour today for a client. It's in the heart of Green Valley, single story, listed at 850,000, and it had basically all of the upgrades, fixtures and finishings, maybe not at the 2020,
The trendy,
look,
the
but it was a
trendy market.
renovated property. But they put the pivot door in, they put the storefront windows in, right? They enclosed the den or office space with the storefront windows, black framed out, absolutely stunning for 850.
Yeah.
You take that home, you put it into Summerlin,
New home,
in a new
1.5
subdivision,
million.
1.5 million to
Yeah.
2 million easily.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy. So you look at, I got this chart right here. I just want to look at this real quick. So this chart, that's kind of, you guys can't really see it, but this chart is showing like, look at these months, I believe, are these three price points right here, 250, 300, 350, 400, well above over list, right? So, I mean, it just says that obviously at those price points, people are consistently going on. This is existing.
So does
Yeah.
anyone know, like I was told that this data's coming in on the third Thursday of this month, what the median home price was for September. Did you know if it went up or went down?
I thought it was 411,000.
For this month,
Yeah.
for September. So it went up a bit.
Yeah.
The previous 2 months was 405,000.
Yeah, it's
flat.
411.
So it crept up a little bit.
Yep.
That's okay.
So the good thing is this, I've seen it nationally, the big news is that we've dropped very so slightly on prices. Now here in Vegas, I don't know if that we can say that.
Joey just told us.
Yeah. So for me, I'm saying, well, that's a good sign. Now, do you think that's going to continue going into these next few months, this fourth quarter?
I think
I
it's.
do.
I thought it was either going to flat or it was going to creep up like what it did.
Yeah.
And my estimation is it's just going to keep up creeping bit by bit.
Yeah,
I hope
think
that.
so.
I hope that happens.
Yeah, no, I think so. We have such an influx of people that are moving here from. We all know California. There's a huge exodus that's happening in California. But I'm getting buyers from Chicago, from Jersey, from Florida,
Wow.
even. So we're pulling people from every direction, which
Yeah.
is kind of interesting. you
Yeah,
know?
and I think too, there's like a timing thing for people. You know, I mean, over here, I mean, I know you moved right now. Was there a reason why you moved at this time? I mean, obviously you guys wanted to come to Vegas, Josh, but was there something that triggered you to come here at this point, or were you like trying to time it out for some reason? Like, what was the reason for you guys coming at this time? Was it just the right time for you guys?
I think it was the right time. I don't think we didn't have a set time scale, but we knew that we wanted to exit Colorado before the winter, number one. And then when we came out here, we saw this little window that had we not jumped on this particular new build property with this builder, that was going to close by the time we got home.
Right.
So there was a little bit of eyes wide open when we came out here and saw that we should do this right now if we truly had the intention to move out here.
Right.
And then that precipitated everything else afterwards.
Do you guys have kids?
We don't.
No. Okay. So that's probably easier for you guys. You don't have to worry about school. You know, for us, obviously, if you're going to move, like for myself or Matt, Joey, we'd have to try to time that out. I think a lot of people time out not to move during the summer or to move during the summer, and then not move at this time. So it's typically slower right now. That's what I feel. I mean, are you slower on that?
Yeah.
You're a little bit slower, right?
Matt is slow.
We recognized quite quickly the builder cost.
Yeah.
No matter what
It
state we
creeps.
were
Crazy,
in, it was
yeah.
creeping. It was creeping
They
in
are-
Colorado. It was creeping everywhere around the
Yeah.
country. And that's when my wife and I discussed that if we didn't choose to plant our flag here now,
Yeah,
if we were going to come back
you
in
wouldn't-
2-3
you'd
weeks,
be locked out.
exactly.
Well,
So
yeah.
with that being said, I mean, yeah, inflation nation, right? I mean, costs of goods, costs of services,
Everything.
everything is going through the
Everything.
roof. I mean, things on the grocery shelf,
Yeah,
everything is
it's-
skyrocketing
One
right
hundred
now.
percent.
With interest rates have gone up, have they not?
They've gone up ever so slightly. They're not going to go up though. The Fed can't afford it. I mean, a lot of people say that they're going to continue to go up. They have a string to pull. Has inflation stayed longer than I anticipated? Sure, but also with that, they also have a little, something in their back pocket where they can just pull a string and raise rates slightly or do something to help with the inflation problem. And that's, so yeah, they would go up, but I don't think they're going to go up to 5%, 4.5%, 5%. I think a lot of people think it's only so much, in so much time we're going to just see rates go crazy. I don't think we can afford it.
So
No,
like
and that would
on
further compress the supply chain issue I feel like
Right.
we're all facing, whether it's goods to build a home or goods in the grocery store. I mean, if they raise the interest rates on us and at the same time we can't get stuff to build a house, that's a massive
Yeah,
compression.
I mean, it's a concern though. I mean,
Yeah.
like I said, I'm not going to say that it doesn't concern me. I don't feel that the inflation, because inflation is something they look at and gauge every single meeting, so overall, yeah, I mean, you go get a steak, the same steak, $15 is now $30.
I take-
Or it's smaller.
yeah.
The portion is smaller.
So I
go.
I have two
Yeah.
sons, and we'd always like eat. I get steaks, and like now when you get steaks at the supermarket, it's like $30-40.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
I'm
Like,
telling
and-
you, it's
and
not
like-
the same.
not the
No,
same.
I'm like breaking 2 bills doing my weekly shop.
Right?
So are you going to let
So-
them keep eating steak? Or where
I
are you
mean,
headed with
you
that?
know,
You want chicken nuggets and French fries? What's going on, Matt?
Let's just say they're well fed.
Yeah. I mean, look, at the end of the day, we all see this happening. We see the housing market consistently going up. But I'm going to tell you that I feel like the builders, they're starting to give the comp back, the co-op, right? They're starting to give the agents where they're going to
I
get
don't
paid.
know.
I wish that were true. I mean,
That's not happening.
that's not happening. It's not happening.
Only with a couple
Explain
builders.
what
Certain ones.
I've heard.
right?
I've heard
Yeah.
that they're trying to entice people because now, look, they got the lot premiums and some of them are getting them. Summerlin, you're probably getting that lot premium. Somebody's going to come in and throw that money down.
So with certain builders, they've gone back to 3% co-op. Okay? Lennar has not.
That's against their culture.
Yeah, Lennar has
No, it
literally
is.
removed 100, almost 100%
it's a
of all of their
corporate culture.
communities from
$2,000?
cooperating with realtors. So I closed on a house in Lake Las Vegas. We closed on a house.
Yeah.
Right. I've been working with these clients for over a year.
Yeah.
We've been working diligently trying to get them in a property. We finally got them closed, transferred out here from Chicago.
$2,000.
$3,000.
I was wow.
Wow.
Lennar, obviously.
Lennar. Yeah.
Yeah.
But they also have communities all across the valley that they offer
Do you know,
zero.
But here's the
A
thing. Can I tell you
donut.
something else? A friend of mine went to go work for them as a sales agent.
Mm-hmm.
Their sales agents are equally as miserable.
Oh, 100%.
Like, it's not good. But
Absolutely.
mysteriously, it's only because of this market that they can do this as a
Mm.
culture and practice.
And honestly,
But-
in my opinion, like I tell my clients, I'm like, look, we can go explore. Look, if I don't care if they don't pay me, but I want you to see the product, the end result yourself.
Right.
So we'll go walk property, and I mean,
Is it
the
more
truth is in the pudding. I mean,
Yeah.
they deliver a terrible product, and I'm not afraid to say it. They deliver a terrible product. If you own a Lennar home, you know what I'm talking about. If you're looking to buy a Lennar home, buyer beware.
So look, if you're in that price point though, and you can't find anything, are you pushing them to go to Lennar?
No, absolutely not.
Not at all.
And I tell my clients straight up.
Because you're not getting a commission, or just because you don't believe in
no,
the product?
I don't believe in the product. Like we will sit down and have a buyer consultation, and I will go through and I will do a price comparison to where if you do buy a home and you have to select your options compared to what Lennar's motto is, everything is included.
Not true.
And you do a price comparison, it equals out to almost the same. The only difference that there is that there's money out of pocket to put deposits on your options.
Right.
But all of that money goes towards your down payment anyway, so you're just prepaying.
Plus, Lennar will try and jack you on the mortgage, on the mortgage rate. Some builders do. I'm happy to say Lennar because I always like throwing them under the bus.
Well, yeah, you're absolutely right. Well, look, here's how they do it. I'm not going to sit here. You're 100% right, man.
No, all the time. Okay, so like you got to be really
Dad's
careful.
like, give me the loan.
No, this is important.
No,
This is
'cause
really-
Matt knows, man.
This is really important for a home buyer that's buying a new home, is that if you have a good agent, such as Joey or myself, or someone that knows,
Right.
So builders, they own the mortgage company, they own the title company, they own the building company. They
Right.
also own an insurance company as well, probably. So they're vertically integrated to squeeze as much money out of the transaction as possible.
Yeah.
Now, they offer closing costs if you use their preferred lender, and you can't make a reservation unless you're pre-approved with their preferred lender.
Right.
So what they do is they know they got you. They know they're going to give you like an extra $5,000 for closing costs if you use their lender. But then what they do, some do this, right? They'll add an extra quarter, third, half point to the mortgage rate.
Yes.
And that equates to like tens of thousands of dollars in extra cost to the borrower, which makes the $5,000 credit they give you just like a little bit of bait and lure.
Absolutely.
So they can jack you.
It's all smoke and mirrors.
It is. I mean, it's from a
Which
lender
is why
standpoint.
you need
yeah.
magicians to point out the smoke and mirrors.
100%. You know, you look at the situation, and it's funny that you brought that up. So you're right. I love the smoke and mirrors, man.
Not if it's working on you. It's not good.
No, it's not good.
Just to clarify.
Buyers beware.